Everywhere in the world, we can observe and be touched by acts of kindness. People from all walks of life, faiths and cultures extend themselves beyond the call of duty to help others unconditionally. Through their noble deeds, humanity as a whole is elevated. To commend virtuous actions and encourage more people to be inspired by their examples, Supreme Master Ching Hai has lovingly created a series of awards, including the Shining World Leadership Award, Shining World Compassion Award, Shining World Hero and Heroine Awards, Shining World Honesty Award, Shining World Protection Award, Shining World Intelligence Award and Shining World Inventor Award to recognise some of the most exemplary, generous, caring and courageous people who walk amongst us. It is now months since the devastating Black Saturday bushfires scorched the Victorian landscapes of Australia in February 2009. Much is settled, but the sad memories and lessons are still there. The flames took more than 200 human lives, along with an estimated over 1 million more animals, as over 440,000 hectares of land were devastated. Over 2,200 homes were destroyed, with thousands more suffering damage, causing 7,500 people to be homeless. A land once flourishing with scenic biodiversity was turned into charred and desolate grounds. Various sources were to blame for sparking the fires, including cigarette butts and falling power lines. But the biggest cause of the disaster was human-induced climate change, which has brought intense drought and extremely high temperatures to the land.
I had a grown man crying to me about how cold and how dark it is up there, because normally in a place like Kinglake at night time you hear the whistle of the frogs, the leaves rattling in the breeze. It's just tranquil and beautiful. He was inside a coffin. It was dark and cold. He was on his own. I'm tearing up telling you, sorry. But this guy's story really touched me. Supreme Master Ching Hai has been great to us. Thank you very much.
In response to the desperate situation of the Victorian fires, many heroes came to the rescue. These include firefighters, volunteers, healthcare workers, animal rescuers, and fellow survivors sharing what they could. The caring, uniting spirit of the Australian people shone through. When the fires began, Supreme Master Ching Hai immediately donated a US $30,000 for any needed relief. She also honoured some of the brave souls who worked to ensure others' safety. Among them was volunteer firefighter Mr. Warren Rees of the town of Kinglake.
When we got into Strathune, the front had actually gone through already. I got off the truck and walked up to my place. The roads were still closed by trees. There were trees all over all the roads from the wind and the power of the fire front. There was nothing left up there, so I just wanted to make sure that my animals weren't suffering.
His darling horses, sadly, had not made it. Despite having lost so much, Mr. Rees' thoughts were with the safety of others.
There was nothing more I could do up there, so I made my way back to the truck later that night and basically just kept working with the brigade because there was still plenty of work to do. We didn't leave Strathune for well over a week.
Going back to fight the dangerous fires was an extremely courageous decision indeed.
It was a bit of a panic, I suppose, because I knew we had a window of probably 15-20 minutes that we could contain this fire. anything over that and it would just be uncontrollable by anybody.
The odds against controlling the flames were high. Dried leaves covered the ground from drought-stricken trees, adding fuel for the fires. Mr. Rees recalls the day's Fire Danger Index, FDI readings.
Anything over 50 is extreme. Now, we checked the FDI in the morning before the fire had actually started, and with those conditions it was about 170, so it was an absolute extreme day.
In addition, the hot, dry winds were fierce.
Trees were just lifted clean out of the ground, and these trees would have been there for hundreds of years, so the force of the wind was just unbelievable. We got there as quickly as we could, and we got the water on it as quickly as we could too, and we were lucky enough to control this first spot fire.
Mr. Rees and his colleagues successfully contained this fire.
For heroically striving to help others in times of great tragedy, for your bravery and strength of mind, and for being a dedicated and selfless role model, we hereby applaud and celebrate the great heroic deeds of Mr. Warren Rees, hero and volunteer firefighter with a heart of gold. With great honour, love and blessings, the Supreme Master Ching Hai. That's for you, Warren.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd like to say there's a lot of incredible acts happened during and after the fire, and a lot of people have gone unrecognised for some of the incredible things that they have done too.
In addition to the Shining World Hero letter and plaque, Supreme Master Ching Hai also gifted Mr. Warren Rees her #1 international bestseller books, The Dogs in My Life, The Birds in My Life, and The Noble Wilds, as well as some of her CDs, DVDs, information on global warming, and a custom-made hero jacket. Supreme Master Ching Hai also sent Mr. Warren Rees 1,000 Australian dollars as a financial contribution for his work and recuperation.
I'd just like to say a very heartfelt thank you to Supreme Master Ching Hai for all this, and I'd like to say too that I will be using this for the general community down at Strathewey.
What an altruistic gentleman. It is thanks to the valiant actions of people like Mr. Rees that the community feels much safer. Let us take a moment now in prayer for our beloved planet. When we return, we will meet 2 more citizens of Kinglake, Victoria, Australia, who became true heroes at this critical time. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back, kind-hearted viewers, as we next commemorate 2 more extraordinary heroes of the Victorian bushfires. Let us now meet Bessie and Jim McMahon, who sheltered neighbours in their Kinglake home during drastic situations.
Well, that Black Saturday on the 7th of February, my grandson actually rang me from Melbourne and asked me could he come up and help with the fire, and I said, what fire? And he said, now the Kinglake's on fire. And I waited. I went outside and looked over, and I could see the black smoke about a foot wide in the township. I got my husband, and I came out, it was about a mile wide, and from then on it just came straight at us. Ooh. And it was very horrendous. It was a very, very high fire. It was a fire that travelled in the air, and every so often when some bits dropped down, they'd start a grass fire. But it was a fire you had to go through to understand it. Nobody could tell you what it was like.
Bessie, at 83 years young and 89 for Jim, reacted with preparedness and know-how to quell the blaze.
We had to get bags, branches, whatever we could to belt them out, and then we were getting buckets of water and the watering cans, but we were fortunate we got high tanks because we didn't have any power. And my son went one stage, he was jumping on with his boots because we thought it was getting too close to the house. That was all we did all night. We just, from 10 o'clock till 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, the three of us, that's how we spotted. And even though the fire itself had gone, these pieces of bark and leaves kept coming in all the time.
For hours on end, they ran back and forth with their bare hands and feet, struggling to uphold their home and their lives. In addition, they cared for up to 35 terrified neighbours, relatives and strangers who took cover in their home. Miraculously, their home and family in the area all survived, while all around was devastation.
When the smoke was so bad, a lot of them come up the house wanting they had wet towels that just run out of the house. I put an old-fashioned wash trough, so I put the plug in and turned the taps on, and I put a lot of towels in there, and I was just giving them wet towels, and then they were wanting drinks, and they took lots of drink bottles down. Then it was getting worse again. It was all run out the water. I said to my granddaughter, I'm going back. She said, no. I said, yes, I am. So I went back up. I had a lot of cookies and stuff up there I'd made that day, so I took them back down to them, and they seemed to settle down after that. So different ones were going to my husband, we're going to die, we're going to die. This was what it was like, because the fire was on four sides all around us.
Their hospitality and comforting strength was much appreciated.
We've had a phone call from New South Wales thanking us for saving their brother and brother-in-law. We've had people from different parts of Melbourne came in and thanked us for what we did. But then on top of it all, we couldn't have done it without the family support.
The humble couple were truly blessed to have been able to save their home.
Sufficient to say that it was a terrible tragedy.
When you look back on it now, it's a very emotional thing, because you can see damages, especially with the garden. You stop and realise, how did we do it? How did we save the house? And I haven't got an answer for it.
The McMahons continue to share what they have with as many of the less fortunate as they can reach.
We give them the vouchers to help them with food, and get some Mighty 10 vouchers and give them petrol so they can get out and go out. Try and help them get back into the life again. We can't give them back their loved ones, but we may be able to help them along the line and make it easier.
They are also providing those in need with warming materials such as blankets and heaters, as well as tarpaulins. Touched by their extraordinary community spirit, Supreme Master Ching Hai bestowed the Shining World Hero Award on Jim and Bessie McMahon. They were also presented with Supreme Master Ching Hai's books, including #1 international bestsellers, The Noble Wilds and The Dogs in My Life, CDs, DVDs, and cruelty-free body products.
Thank you so much. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
For their noble works, Supreme Master Ching Hai also sent them $3,000.
Thank you so much. I'm just overwhelmed, because I never expected anything like this. And what we're doing with everybody else helped, the whole family, and we're grateful for the whole family, what they did.
Yes.
They all saved us.
Yes.
And thank you. Thank you so much, Master Ching Hai. This is wonderful, and we do appreciate it. It was a hard time, but your generosity makes it so much easier. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Master Ching Hai, and we do appreciate it. Don't feel we've earned it, but nevertheless, words cannot express my gratitude.
We applaud the remarkable endeavours of Mr. Warren Rees, Mrs. Bessie McMahon and Mr. Jim McMahon. God bless you as your care and dignity bring peace of mind to all the lives you touch. Lovely viewers, Thank you for joining us on today's program. Stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for words of wisdom up next after noteworthy news. May heaven's light and goodness guide your every day.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/EE.